Hi, everybody. Good evening. Today is Tuesday, August the 22nd, 2023. It is 8 p.m. in Colombia, and this is Mike. Welcome to another class in which we are going to practice the conjugation of regular verbs. Remember, this is a series of videos in which we are practicing the conjugation of the 56 most used regular verbs in Spanish, and we are conjugating the verbs in different tenses. We already did that in the simple present tense. We did that in the simple future tense. And for the past two videos, we've been conjugating the verbs in the simple past tense. And remember, in Spanish, we have two different ways of conjugating the simple past. One is called pretérito indefinido, and the other one is the pretérito imperfecto. The difference is basically one is when we mean something that we did once and that was it, and the other one is when we make reference to things that we used to do in the past, or when we are trying to tell a story, saying things that used to happen in the past. In English, basically, you can write the simple past and can be understood in both ways. And in this series of videos, we're using the simple past, and the form that we're using is the pretérito indefinido, pasado simple pretérito indefinido. We are using this table here. Remember, regular and irregular verbs have a root. The root of the verb is the part of the verb that we have. If we have a verb in the infinitive form in Spanish, verbs end in ar, ir, ar, ir. Jugar, comer, reír. Infinitive form. That means to play, jugar. To eat, comer. To live, vivir. And the ar, ir ending part of the verb shows that it is the verb in its infinitive form. So, if we're going to conjugate the verb in Spanish, a regular verb, which means verbs that follow rules, what we do is we keep the root of the verb, meaning the part without the ar, ir, if it's in its infinitive form, and we change that ar, ir ending depending on this table. If the verb for the pretérito indefinido for simple past in Spanish, if the verb ends in ar, we change ar for haste, o, amos, aron, hasteis, depending on the subject and for that verb. If the verb ends in we use that column of the table, and if the verb ends in ir, we use this column of the table. So please keep that in mind. And of course, these videos are basically showing examples of the conjugation of the verbs. 56 of the most used regular verbs in Spanish. The other thing is that the idea with this series of videos is for you to practice the conjugation. Practice the conjugation. Repeat the conjugation. Do your own exercises. Do not worry about the structure of the sentence. Do not worry that much about how to use the adjectives and some other stuff. Do not worry about that. Focus on learning how to conjugate the verbs, regular verbs, the most used verbs, and try to focus on that, on learning the conjugation and the pronunciation, because I go both conjugation and pronunciation. So remember, if you like this video, please, you know what to do. Share with your friends, groups, and social media. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Click the all notification button, bell button, in order to get notifications every time I post a brand new video, because we've been posting videos on a weekly basis. Another thing is, it's official. The second season of the podcast is already there. I already have 8 episodes scheduled to be premiered in 2, 3, 4 weeks, pretty much. We still have pending episode 11, which premieres tomorrow, and episode 12, which is going to premiere on Wednesday, next Wednesday. Not tomorrow, but the next one. So a lot of things coming to this channel. I hope this is gonna be helpful for you. So let's start with the remaining 13 verbs of the list so we can move to the next videos. So we have the verb number 44, prender, which is to turn on or to light something. I can say yo prendí. As you can see, it's meaning that you have to use the second column of the table. Yo prendí la luz anoche. I turned on the light last night. Tú prendiste la chimenea para calentar la casa. You lit the fireplace to warm up the house. Singular, informal, close relationships. Usted prendió la chimenea para calentar la casa. Singular, formal. Ustedes prendieron la chimenea para calentar la casa. Plural. Vosotros prendisteis la chimenea para calentar la casa. Plural, in Spain. Él prendió la computadora para trabajar. He turned on the computer to work. Ella prendió las velas en la fiesta de cumpleaños. She lit the candles at the birthday party. Prendió las luces automáticamente. It turned the lights on automatically. Nosotros prendimos la calefacción en invierno. We turned on the heating in winter. And ellos prendieron las lámparas para tener luz en la habitación. They lit the lamps to have light in the room. Male. Ellas prendieron las lámparas para tener luz en la habitación. Female. Let's move to verb number 45. Prometer. Enseñar. Again, second column down here. To promise. Yo prometí estudiar más para mejorar mis calificaciones. Give me a second. Okay. Yo prometí estudiar más para mejorar mis calificaciones. I promised to study more to improve my grades. Tú prometiste llegar a tiempo a la cita. You promised to arrive on time to the appointment. Singular, informal, close relationships. Usted prometió llegar a tiempo a la cita. Singular, formal. Ustedes prometieron llegar a tiempo a la cita. Plural. Vosotros prometisteis llegar a tiempo a la cita. Plural, in Spain. Él prometió ayudar en la organización del evento. He promised to help with the event's organization. Ella prometió llamar a su madre todos los días. She promised to call her mother every day. Prometió ser interesante. It promised to be interesting. Nosotros prometimos cuidar el medio ambiente. We promised to take care of the environment. And ellos prometieron mantener en secreto la sorpresa. They promised to keep the surprise a secret. Male. Ellas prometieron mantener en secreto la sorpresa. Female. Verb 46. Regalar. Enseñar. To give or to give away. Yo regalé dulces en la fiesta. I gave away candy at the party. Tú regalaste ropa que ya no usas. You gave away clothes you no longer wear. Singular, informal, close relationships. Usted regaló ropa que ya no usa. Singular, formal. Ustedes regalaron ropa que ya no usan. Plural. Vosotros regalasteis ropa que ya no usáis. Plural, in Spain. Let's move to él regaló chocolates a su novia. He gave chocolates to his girlfriend. Ella regaló juguetes a los niños del orfanato. She gave away toys to the children at the orphanage. Regaló muestras gratis de sus nuevos productos en la tienda. It gave away free samples of their new product at the store. Nosotros regalamos un reloj a nuestro padre. We gave a watch to our father. And ellos regalaron productos de higiene a personas sin hogar. They gave away hygiene products to homeless individuals. Male. Ellas regalaron productos de higiene a personas sin hogar. Female. Verb number 47. Responder. Ends in er, second column. To answer or to respond. Sometimes also to reply. Yo respondí todas las preguntas en clase. I answered all the questions in class. Tú respondiste rápido a los mensajes. You answered messages quickly. Singular, informal, close relationships. Usted aprendió rápido los mensajes. Usted respondió rápido a los mensajes. I'm sorry. Usted respondió rápido a los mensajes. Singular, formal. Ustedes respondieron rápido a los mensajes. Plural. Vosotros respondisteis rápido a los mensajes. Plural, Spain. Él respondió las llamadas telefónicas de los clientes. He answered phone calls from our customers. Ella respondió a los correos electrónicos de manera oportuna. She answered emails promptly. Respondió preguntas en línea. It answered questions online. Nosotros respondimos a las solicitudes de ayuda. We responded to requests of assistance. And ellos respondieron a las quejas de los clientes con cortesía. They responded to customer complaints courteously. Male. Ellas respondieron a las quejas de los clientes con cortesía. Female. Let's move to verb number 48. Saludar. To greet. Yo saludé a mis amigos con un abrazo. I greeted my friends with a hug. Tú saludaste a tus compañeros con una sonrisa. You greeted your classmates with a smile. Singular, informal, close relationships. Usted saludó a sus compañeros con una sonrisa. Singular, formal. Ustedes saludaron a sus compañeros con una sonrisa. Plural. Vosotros saludasteis a vuestros compañeros con una sonrisa. Plural, in Spain. Él saludó a sus vecinos. He greeted his neighbors. Ella saludó a sus colegas al llegar a la oficina. She greeted her colleagues upon arriving at the office. Saludó a los clientes al entrar a la tienda. It greeted customers when they entered the store. Nosotros saludamos a nuestros familiares en las reuniones. We greeted our relatives at gatherings. And ellos saludaron a los turistas con amabilidad. They greeted tourists with kindness. Male. Ellas saludaron a los turistas con amabilidad. Female. Let's move to verb 49. Subir, to go up, to increase, to raise, to upload. Yo subí las escaleras para llegar a mi apartamento. I went up the stairs to get to my apartment. Tú subiste tus precios en temporada alta. You increased your prices during peak season. Singular, informal, close relationships. Usted subió sus precios en temporada alta. Singular, formal. Ustedes subieron sus precios en temporada alta. Plural. Vosotros subisteis vuestros precios en temporada alta. Plural, Spain. Él subió los precios de los productos en la tienda. He raised the prices of the products in the store. Ella subió la montaña. She went up the mountain. We can also say she climbed the mountain. Subió la temperatura de la casa. It increased the temperature in the house. Nosotros subimos nuestro backup a la nube. We uploaded our backup to the cloud. And ellos subieron el estándar de en sus expectativas laborales. They raised the bar in their work expectations. Male. Ellas subieron el estándar en sus expectativas laborales. Female. Let's move to number 50. Succeed. To succeed. Suceder. Remember, with this verb, in Spanish, we can understand that as to happen or as to take the place of another person or thing. If we are going to translate the verb suceder, to succeed, as to take the place of another person or thing, this is the conjugation in the simple past for pretérito indefinido. These sentences may not make too much sense, but nonetheless, the idea is for you to understand and practice the conjugation of the verb itself, despite how weird those sentences can be. Yo sucedí a mi hermano como presidente del club. I succeeded my brother as the president of the club. Tú sucediste a tu compañero de trabajo en el puesto. You succeeded your coworker in the position. Singular, informal, close relationships. Usted sucedió a su compañero en el trabajo Usted sucedió a su compañero de trabajo en el puesto. Singular, formal. Ustedes sucedieron a su compañero de trabajo en el puesto. Plural. Vosotros sucedisteis a vuestro compañero de trabajo en el puesto. Plural, Spain. Él sucedió al director en la dirección de la empresa. He succeeded the director in the management of the company. Ella sucedió a su maestra como líder del equipo. She succeeded her teacher as the team leader. Sucedió como líder de la manada. It succeeded as the leader of the pack. Nosotros sucedimos a la generación anterior en la responsabilidad. We succeeded the previous generation in the responsibility. And ellos sucedieron a los antiguos líderes en el gobierno. They succeeded the former leaders in the government male. Ellas sucedieron a los antiguos líderes en el gobierno female. And remember, this conjugation, suceder, this way, is when we mean in Spanish to take the place of another person or thing, because that can be translated as so. And the other way we use to happen in English is when something happens. We use it as sucede or suceden in different tenses. In this case, in the past would be sucedió o pasó. Sucedieron o pasaron if it's plural. So the other way to translate this is when hey Gira or Gira, I think it's Gira or Gira. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I think it would be Gira. Nonetheless, hola, bienvenido, bienvenida. No veo, tampoco veo la imagen, pero bueno. Welcome, nonetheless. And in English, we can conjugate the verb to happen with by subjects, and in Spanish, the translation would be something like resultar. I happen to enjoy reading books. Resulta que disfruto leyendo libros. Thing is, in Spanish, when I put this in the past, I happened to enjoy reading books. The translation is pretty much the same. Resulta que disfruto leyendo libros. Resultó, but it sounds, it's not quite a way in which we use in Spanish. But we can say it happened too fast. Sucedió bastante rápido. Sucedió, pasó, sucedió, o sucedieron if it's plural. Verb number 51, terminar, to finish, end, and break up. Yo terminé la reunión a tiempo. I ended the meeting on time. Tú terminaste tus estudios a tiempo. You finished your studies on time. Singular, informal, close relationships. Usted terminó sus estudios a tiempo. Singular, formal. Ustedes terminaron sus estudios a tiempo. Plural. Vosotros terminasteis vuestros estudios a tiempo. Plural in Spain. Él terminó con su pareja ayer. He broke up with his partner yesterday. Ella terminó la película antes de dormir. She ended the movie before going to sleep. Terminó antes de lo que esperábamos. It ended before we expected. Nosotros terminamos la reunión a las 5 de la tarde. We finished the meeting at 5 in the afternoon. Ellos terminaron la conversación amigablemente. They ended the conversation in a friendly way. Male. Ellas terminaron la conversación amigablemente. Female. Verb number 52. Trabajar. To work. Yo trabajé en una oficina. I worked in an office. Tú trabajaste en una tienda. You worked in a store. Singular, informal, close relationships. Usted trabajó en una tienda. Singular, formal. Ustedes trabajaron en una tienda. Plural. Vosotros trabajasteis en una tienda. Plural, Spain. Él trabajó como ingeniero. He worked as an engineer. Ella trabajó desde casa. She worked from home. Trabajó todo el día. It worked the whole day. Nosotros trabajamos en equipo. We worked as a team. Ellos trabajaron para una empresa multinacional. They worked for a multinational company. Male. Ellas trabajaron para una empresa multinacional. Female. Verb number 53. Usar. To use. Yo usé una computadora para trabajar. I used the computer for work. Tú usaste lentes de sol en verano. You used sunglasses in the summer. Singular, informal, close relationships. Usted usó lentes de sol en verano. Singular, formal. Ustedes usaron lentes de sol en verano. Plural. Vosotros usasteis lentes de sol en verano. Plural, Spain. Hey, Serena. Not really. Well, we started with verb 43 and this is verb 53. We're pretty much done. But don't worry. You can always watch the video as many times as you need once it's finished, because it's part of different playlists that I have about conjugation of regular verbs in Spanish. Él usó su teléfono móvil todo el tiempo. He used his mobile phone all the time. Ella usó un vestido bonito para la fiesta. She wore a pretty dress for the party. Serena is a friend of mine, by the way. She also has a channel on YouTube. It's called Adventures with Dread. If you're a gamer and you're into No Man's Sky, remember to visit her channel at YouTube at Adventures with Dread. It's gonna be interesting and cool. Okay, so ella usó un vestido bonito para la fiesta. She wore a pretty dress for the party. Usó sus garras para trepar. It used its claws to climb. Nosotros usamos el transporte público para ir al trabajo. We use public transportation to go to work. Ellos usaron herramientas para arreglar cosas. They use tools to fix things. Male, ellas usaron herramientas para arreglar cosas. Female. Let's move to verb number 54, viajar, to travel. Yo viajé a diferentes países cada año. I traveled to different countries every year. Tú viajaste en avión. You traveled by plane. Singular and formal close relationships. Usted viajó en avión. Singular formal. Ustedes viajaron en avión, plural. Vosotros viajasteis en avión, plural, Spain. Él viajó por Europa durante sus vacaciones. He traveled around Europe during his vacations. Ella viajó con su familia en verano. She traveled with her family in summer. Viajó grandes distancias. He traveled long distances. Nosotros viajamos en tren a la ciudad vecina. We traveled by train to the neighboring city. And ellos viajaron por todo el mundo como mochileros. They traveled around the world as backpackers. Male. Ellas viajaron por todo el mundo como mochileras. Female. Verb 55. Visitar, to visit. Yo visité a mis abuelos el fin de semana. I visited my grandparents last weekend. Tú visitaste museos y monumentos en tus vacaciones. Singular. You visited museums and monuments on your vacations. Singular, formal, informal, close relationships. Usted visitó museos y monumentos en sus vacaciones. Singular, formal. Ustedes visitaron museos y monumentos en sus vacaciones. Plural. Vosotros visitasteis museos y monumentos en vuestras vacaciones. Plural, Spain. Él visitó a su amigo en el hospital. He visited his friend in the hospital. Ella visitó a su prima en otra ciudad. She visited her cousin in another city. Visitó nuevos lugares. It visited new places. Nosotros visitamos a mi abuela. We visited our grandmother and second place. Oh yeah, I know. Congratulations. Serena was in a golf tournament today. She got second place. So congratulations, please. Congratulations are in order. So let's give it a hand for Serena and her accomplishments playing golf. Way to go, my friend. Ellos visitaron parques nacionales en verano. They visited national parks in summer. Male. Ellas visitaron parques nacionales en verano. Female. And the last but not least, 56th verb. Verb number 56. Vivir, to live. Yo viví en una casa cerca del parque. I lived in a house near the park. Tú viviste en un apartamento en el centro de la ciudad. You lived in an apartment in the city center, downtown. Singular, informal, close relationships. Usted vivió en un apartamento. Thanks, Flash Flood Area, for congratulating Serena on her success. Tú viviste en un usted vivió en un apartamento en el centro de la ciudad. Singular, formal. Ustedes vivieron en un apartamento en el centro de la ciudad. Plural. Vosotros vivisteis en un apartamento en el centro de la ciudad. Plural, Spain. Él vivió con sus padres en el campo. He lived with his parents in the countryside. Ella vivió en un piso compartido con sus amigas. She lived in a shared flat with her friends. Vivió en la jungla. It lived in the jungle. Nosotros vivimos en un barrio tranquilo. We lived in a quiet neighborhood. Ellos vivieron en una granja en las afueras. They lived on a farm in the outskirts. Singular, informal, close relationships. I'm sorry. I just got mixed up. Sorry. I was reading this and I got mixed up. Ellos vivieron en una granja en las afueras. They lived on a farm in the outskirts. Male. Ellas vivieron en una granja en las afueras. Female, because it is plural. Okay, so we have the 56 most used regular verbs in Spanish conjugated in the simple past, the pretérito indefinido, which is when we say something that happened and that was it. Happened once and that was it. That's this conjugation. Remember, things to remember. First, verbs in Spanish when in their infinitive form ending ar, ir. Like trabajar, trabajar ends in ar. Terminar ends in ar. Suceder ends in er. Vivir ends in ir. Like this one, visitar, vivir ends in ir. So that's the verb in its infinitive form. So if we take the ar, ir part away from the verb, we keep the root of the verb, which is the part that I left in red for each one of the verbs. And for the conjugation rules, we have this table. We have a table for every tense. In this case, for pretérito indefinido, if the verb ends in ar, we use the first column. If the verb ends in ir, we use the second column. If the verb ends in in ar, first column, er, second column, ir, for third column. And let's say like this, viajar. So I go and I use the first column and I say yo, you see, yo viajé. I changed the r for the ending according to the table. So I know at first it's some kind of a hassle to go through all of the different subjects, change the conjugation and so on, but that's part of the exercise. Remember, practice makes perfect, and little by little we're going to achieve the skill of the conjugation of these verbs. Why is it so important? Because in Spanish, the conjugation of the verb changes depending on the subject. As you can see, we have different conjugations depending on the subject. But if we know that it's a regular verb, we learn the conjugation rules and we learn how to conjugate the verbs. Second, remember that in most of the cases, we can skip the subject, meaning by context, I can realize and understand who am I talking about. Trabajé en una oficina. I don't have to say yo trabajé because the conjugation already tells me it is me. Yo trabajé en una oficina. Trabajaste. It's so clear for us that it's tú. So we don't have to say tú trabajaste. Trabajó can be usted, él, ella. So I need to put in context that one. But nonetheless, it's a different conjugation. So that's the reason why we do that. Another thing to keep in mind, for verbs ending in ar, and I think it's the same for verbs ending in er, the conjugation for nosotros in the past is the same in the pretérito indefinido, which is this one, is the same as the present. Nosotros usamos el transporte público para ir al trabajo can be either present or past, depending on the context. Because the conjugation is the same for nosotros if the verb ends in ar. And I think the verb ending in er happens the same. Nosotros, oh no. Ir. Ir, ending in ir, subir. Nosotros subimos. Ending in ar and ending in ir in the past and the present is the same conjugation. So things to keep in mind when we are doing this exercise. And remember, this is a matter of practice. This series of videos can be kind of boring and exhausting because we're basically going all over reading and conjugating verbs. But remember, this is something that we need to repeat and practice. So whenever we go and start working on building sentences, we're going to be more skillful with that. So luckily, that's going to be helpful for all of you in the process. So the next live class is going to be conjugation of pretérito imperfecto, which is the simple past that we use to make reference to things that we used to do on a regular basis, on a frequent basis, or when we are trying to tell story. Remember, if you like the video, you know what to do. Please share with your friends, groups, and social media. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Click the all bell button in order to get notifications whenever I go live with live streaming classes, and that will allow you to participate in the chat. What's the importance of the chat? You can ask questions. If you have questions, please go ahead and ask questions. Most likely, if it's related to the subject that we're dealing with in the video, so we can just clear your doubts. And also, it's going to allow us to keep on growing as a channel. I'm so glad that this channel has been growing so fast. It seems these contents are people like them, so that's good. And luckily, that's gonna keep on the same. Remember, I have a podcast, season 1. In the season 1, I'm reading in Spanish and then translating. That's for you to practice your listening comprehension skills. That's your practicing your speaking skills by mirroring what I'm reading, and also to acquiring vocabulary, to checking on structures and stuff like that. That's season 1. I have 12 videos. Episode 11 premieres tomorrow, and episode 12 premieres next month, Wednesday. Then a week after that, I'm going to premiere season 2, and this is going to be more interesting because I'm going to be interviewing friends of mine who live, most of them live in the United States. There's one who is from Bulgaria and lives in Spain, and there's one who is from my local town and lives in Japan. So it's going to be interesting because they're going to tell us about their own experiences moving to a different country, dealing with a different culture, adapting to a different culture, and learning a second language. I have all sorts of experiences there. It's going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be also 12 episodes, and it's going to be all in Spanish, real Spanish conversations from 30 minutes to 1 hour long. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be interesting. More things coming. I have some more videos on the works. So hopefully this is going to be helpful for all of you. Remember, if you have questions about this video, you can send a comment. Also, you can leave a comment here, of course, nonetheless. Yeah. If you have a question or you want to leave a comment, you can leave a comment here. But if you have a question regarding this video, the things that we learned in practice in this video, this is a WhatsApp line. You can drop me a message and I'll reply as soon as possible. That line is not for it's not for answering questions about other channels or other things, just about, hey, I saw your video regarding this thing and I didn't understand this. If you want, go ahead. And I think that's gonna be it. It seems you don't have any questions. So thanks a lot for being here tonight with me. To all of you who stayed here live during the live broadcasting, and also to all of you who are watching this later, because remember, I have some playlists in which I'm leaving these videos for you so you can review and watch them later. So thanks a lot. I really enjoy this. I really enjoy sharing the things that I feel I know, and I always look forward to teaching the best way I can. So once again, thank you very much for being here. Looking forward to seeing you in future videos. Serena, thank you. You're okay. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Serena. And see you. I think I'm not sure if perhaps on Thursday, if not on Tuesday. But nonetheless, we're gonna meet again some sunny day. Ok, que la pasen muy bien, que pasen muy buenas noches. Gracias por estar aquí. Yeah, go back, check the playlists, watch all of the videos. I have right now I have over 50 videos available and more coming. So, gracias a todos, que pasen una feliz noche y nos hablamos luego. Que les rinda. Chao. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, you know what to do. Please share with your friends, groups, and social media. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel for updates on the new videos that we're posting on a weekly basis. So keep on learning, keep on watching the videos, and see you on the next video.